Mainland China is to get a seat at the United Nations.
And that was the case with the crash of Flight 901.
Worst disaster of...
The great exodus is on from the two major festivals at Sweetwaters near Ngaruawahia.
He's got his trousers.
Good evening. Dozens of shots were fired this afternoon in downtown Auckland.
Good evening. The commuter airline.
There's been another heart transplant at Auckland's Green Lane Hospital.
It's gone 6. The deadline has expired. Now the world waits for war. Iraq remains defiant to the end. An effigy of Bush burns in Baghdad. The Kiwi contribution, medics fly out to patch up the war wounded. And the partial eclipse. The moon does a slow waltz across the sun.
Network News with Angela Dordney and Greg Clark.
Good evening.
Good evening, New Zealand. Leading the mid-evening news, concerned Auckland women make moves to reclaim the night.
They meet to discuss how to stay safe as police hunt the city's serial rapists.
Sporting superstar Jonah Lomu scores a major sponsorship deal.
And a cuddly travelling companion gets a dream holiday on the house.
Our top story tonight, and Auckland communities making moves to make sure women protect themselves against rape.
Good evening, New Zealand. Leading tonight's news, major civil unrest in one of Australia's nearest neighbours. Here at home, a move to shrink the New Zealand military. And the ultimate bargaining tool, a gadget that compares shop prices with those on the internet. Our top story, protests, rioting and gunfire in the streets.
Tonight, a key witness to the Waitara police shooting claims crucial information is missing from his police statement. Inflation is on the way up and your mortgage could be about to follow. And it's effective and there are no harmful side effects. The male pill moves a step closer. Good evening. Labour MP John Tamahere says he's putting party ahead of personal ambition.
Good evening, I'm Kate Hawkesby.
And I'm Eric Young. Tonight, the sister of a killer calls for an even tougher stand on paroles.
And the man who blew the whistle on Israel's nukes finally walks free after 18 years behind bars.
Also tonight, Auckland's new flagship hospital is slammed again by a top surgeon.
Posh makes a statement that shouts, "David is mine," while Bex makes a statement which whispers, "My hairdresser is an idiot."
And the theatrical sound of silence. We look at a play that runs for an hour without a word being spoken.
Tonight, the sister of a murderer up for parole in June is warning that he will...
Kia ora, good evening. I'm Kate Hawkesby. Tonight, she's fronted the news for almost 2 decades, but now Judy Bailey's moving on. Does a Kiwi tourist hold vital information that could help find the masterminds behind the Bali bombings? It looks like something out of Star Wars, but this could be reality. The future of racing is unveiled.
And you just can't help but love their music. The band gearing up for a big night at tomorrow's Tui's. TVNZ has announced the end of an era with its frontline news presenter. Tonight, wind and rain cause mayhem in the Upper North Island. Who's next? Petrol goes up as jobs go down. Should you be worried? Mauled by a pit bull but saved by a terrier, a Whangarei boy tells his side of the tale. And trade me or trade in your job. Bosses get tough on cyber slackers. Kia ora, good evening. More than 1,000 homes are without power tonight.
The heavy rain has been spreading southwards over eastern parts of the South Island today. Some big totals recorded, and the rain falling as snow up in the ranges. The storm isn't finished with us yet. I'll tell you where more heavy rain is forecast within the hour. Right now, it's 6 o'clock.
This is One News with Simon Dallow and Bernadine Oliver Kirby.
Tonight, the extreme weather moves down country. Torrential rain swamps the South Island, causing widespread chaos and closing its major highway. Our cameras are in the hardest hit areas.
Battered by high winds, take a look at this. One News talks exclusively to the driver of this car.
Why Māori activist Tame Iti's wielding a big stick and seeing eye to eye with the government.
And the heartfelt song that's brought the King of Tonga to tears.
Kia ora, good evening. The storm that's caused so much trouble for the north hit the south with full force.
Good evening,
today.
everybody. The sunshine is taking control again after yesterday's southerly interloper, but it nailed Taupo down to 2 degrees last night. Now a new high-pressure balloon is rolling out the beach weather once again, but not for that long. Stay tuned for details. Right now, it's 6 o'clock.
This is One News with Simon Dallow and Wendy Petrie.
Tonight, finally forced out.
Okay. Is this all right? Is everybody happy with this?
Unhappy campers. Occupy protesters vow to battle on after police move in to evict them.
A small plane crashes near a residential area, killing 2 people. We hear from eyewitnesses.
The alleged Mr. Big of a global internet piracy ring applies for bail as some question why he was allowed here in the first place.
And why the Canterbury Quakes are now hitting insurance policy holders across the country.
Kia ora, good evening. A standoff continues tonight between Occupy Auckland protesters.
Hello, some of us managing some sunshine today. For a lot of us, though, it was thickening cloud, 1 or 2 showers around, the beginnings of what is quite an active weather system. That's going to be coming in for Sunday. It's wet, it's windy, it's thundery in places too. It's more of a day for the indoor board games. All the details coming up. Right now, it's 6 o'clock.
Well, I think like anything, it's like a marriage, you have to work at it.
Renewing our vows with Sri Lanka on diplomacy and dairy, but did the PM address the human rights elephant in the room? Why Wellington's big push to be the world's first smoke-free capital could already be going up in smoke. Hundreds party their way to a cheap shopping mania as H&M opens in Auckland. What these silent protesters wanted to say. And he's got this man mountain to conquer tonight, but find out why Joseph Parker's quest to be the world's best may have just got a whole lot easier. Kia ora, good evening. Dairy, diplomacy, meat and elephants. The recipe for John Key's strengthened relationship with Sri Lanka.
To daylight saving, the warm northwesterly airstream establishing itself over New Zealand. Eastern areas rising into the 20s, but the weather dial gets a giant twist to the right this evening. Northwesterlies rise to gale, and the west coast is set for another dousing. Your weather warnings and today's news. Right now, it's 6 o'clock.
Well, we can't all win a seat, right? Not even Winston Peters can win a seat.
He can still see the funny side. Winston Peters to decide who'll be in the next government, what will he want, and how long will the country have to wait? It's raining balloons for National, but tough negotiations are on the way after a comeback for Bill English.
Just short of half of all New Zealanders voted National.
While Jacinda Ardern hopes votes yet to be counted will bring Labour a whisker closer.
But I'm hopeful we'll see a bit of a lift out of them.
And emotions run high as the Māori Party is knocked out of Parliament after more than a decade. Kia ora, good evening. Who will lead the next government remains up in the air tonight.
Tonight, fire investigation. What caused the fatal Dunedin blaze that's left 2 people dead? A neighbour tells One News how she helped save an elderly resident. Also tonight, military manoeuvres. Tanks and ground troops roll into Syria as Turkey shows off its firepower in a major attack on Kurdish rebels, sparking international tensions. And the happy couple, but has the Prime Minister slipped up? Did Jacinda Ardern reveal the baby's gender?
No, I did not. And I know in defending myself we could get into a whole other conversation, but no, I didn't.
Kia ora, good evening. Extra police have been called in to investigate a deadly unexplained fire in